back. It's Mrs. Thompson. We're in section 5.4. We're going to do example 4 today to conclude this particular part of the chapter. And this is a business application. Remember, we have been working with special systems where you may have infinite solutions or you may have no solution at all. Those are special. And so now we're going to apply what we've learned to this business application. Let me read the situation to you. The sales manager at Comics Now is comparing its sales of its competitor Dynamo Comics. If the sales pattern continues, will the sales for Comics Now ever equal the sales for Dynamo Comics? And then explain yourself. And so here's a chart. You've got comic books sold per year. That's in thousands. So when we say Comics Now in 2005 sold 130 comics, we're saying 130,000. That's what we're talking about. Okay, we didn't write out the whole word or whole number, 130,000. We just lopped off the last 3 zeros, just wrote 130, but we designated the table and said that it's in terms of thousands. Okay, in order to figure out if the sales will ever equal, and what they mean by that, when they ask you questions like that, will they ever equal, they're asking you, do these lines intersect? Okay, that's the point of intersection would be the point where they are equal. Okay, and so I want to make sure I'm really super clear on that. If the lines intersect, then that point of intersection would be when Comics Now and Dynamo Comics are equal in sales. Okay, so now it's our job to figure out if they intersect at all. So first thing we need to do is we need to take a look at, I'm going to kind of divide the table up a little bit. Comics Now. We need to come up with an equation. Okay, so as you may recall, this is a while ago, but notice how the years are going up by 2005 to 2006, so we're going up a year. Okay, do you see that pattern? We're going up each year, so we're going consecutive years. Now, what's going on with the sales, okay, or comic books sold? We're going from 130 to 170. How much did we go by? We went up 40. How about 170 to 210? We went up 40, and from 210 to 250, we went up 40, okay? So we have definitely a constant rate of change here. We went up 40,000 comics a year, each year. So that means our slope would be 40. What we just calculated doing that particular exercise was the slope. We did the change in Y, which is your comic books sold, over the change in X, which is the changing year, okay? So our slope is 40. Now our y-intercept is going to be where we started this whole table, and that's going to be right here is going to be your y-intercept. So for Comics Now, it's 130. So I can actually write the equation y equals 40x plus 130, okay? Now, let's do Dynamo Comics. Let's do the same exercise. We see that the X's are going up by year, 2005 to 2006, 2006 to 2007, and of course 07 to 08. Now, let's take a look at Dynamo Comics. So we've got 180 to 220. Well, what was that? How much of an increase is that? Well, we went up 40. Okay. How about 220 to 260? Went up 40. How about 260 to 300? Again, we went up 40. So Dynamo Comics had an increase in their comic sales by 40,000 as well, but they started at a different place. They started at 180. So that means their equation is just a little bit different, same slope, but different y-intercepts, and that's what it would look like. So we want to go back to this question right here, okay? Do these lines intersect? Well, compare their slopes and their intercepts, okay? What kind of lines, if I were to graph these, what kind of lines would they be? If you're thinking, hey, they're parallel lines, you're exactly right. They parallel each other, And so that means they will never intersect. And so what we have here is that there's no solution. There's not going to be ever a time in this pattern where their sales will ever equal each other. So no, the answer is no, the two companies will never be equal. Okay, there's no solution. No, the companies will never be equal. Okay, so on the next page, I gave you another extra credit opportunity. Okay, now there's no table, but there's enough information about Matt's checking account and Ben's checking account, and you need to write the equations. Okay, then will the accounts ever have the same balance? What they're asking you is, will these lines ever intersect? That's what you're looking for. Okay, and so it's really a yes or no question. Yes or no, and why are you saying yes? Why are you saying no, depending on your answer? Okay, bring your questions to class tomorrow. Good luck on your extra credit.